an old man came to me. He had tears in his eyes. He said, if the authorities won't support us, if WFP can't feed us, please drop a bomb on us and put us out of our misery. The situation in Myanmar is desperate, and I fear it is going to get worse. It's one of the most complex operating fields because of so many different factors, particularly the ongoing conflict. But it's also exacerbated by natural disasters as well. Last year we had an earthquake. This year we may have floods. You put all of these factors together, the situation is severe, and my fear is it's going to get worse.
缅甸面临着世界上最严峻的人道主义危机之一，上千万人面临严重饥饿，数百万人流离失所。去年3月遭遇毁灭性地震以来，人道主义困境雪上加霜。在包括中国政府在内的国际社会支持下，联合国世界粮食计划署正在为缅甸的受灾民众提供基本的粮食配给。在缅甸的粮食援助工作会遇到哪些挑战？如何把粮食送到真正有需要的人手中？最近，联合国世界粮食计划署驻缅甸代表邓福德访问中国，我恰好也在北京，我们一起聊聊缅甸的情况。
So I'm the country director for the World Food Programme based in Myanmar. I've worked for WFP for over 25 years. I'm surprised when I say it. What's refreshing is that it's allowed me to live and work in a variety of different countries. Also in Asia, in Europe. I've had the last 12 years in East Africa. I'm excited to be in Myanmar because WFP has a role to play and because we can draw on our experiences from across the world to help achieve ending hunger in the country. But it's not easy. It's a complex environment. The people in Myanmar are extraordinarily resilient, but I fear that they are approaching a breaking point unless the situation changes. First and foremost, we need an end to the conflict. Conflict is the biggest driver of hunger in Myanmar today, so that must end. We have one of the most complex hunger crises anywhere in the world in Myanmar today. Over the course of the last 5 years, the humanitarian needs have increased to over 16 million people, of which almost 13 million people are acutely hungry. WFP and others are supporting them, but the needs are so great we need to expand that further. There's a civil war. It's been fighting for the last 5 years. It's across the country. There are multiple actors. 3.5 million people have been displaced and as a result are reliant on humanitarian assistance to meet their most basic requirements. I'd describe the situation as both an availability and an access issue. If in fact the harvest is reduced, the availability will have gone down. Equally, if the cost of the food has increased, people may not be able to purchase it. So the food may exist, their money will not go far enough to be able to buy everything that they need for their families. It forces people to make basic choices. What can they feed their families? Do they have enough money to feed their families? Can they provide nutritious food for their families? And if not, who is going to go without? Unfortunately, what's happening elsewhere in the world, particularly the Middle East, is going to make the situation in Myanmar even worse. We're seeing a dramatic increase in costs, particularly of food and fertilizer, and it means that farmers are not necessarily planting as much this year, and without the fertilizer, they're not going to be able to produce as much food come the harvest in October, November. WFP has a number of different activities in the country. We provide life-saving humanitarian support, and that can come in either the form of food or cash. In addition, we are running nutrition programs to ensure that children and mothers have basic nutrition items that will sustain them. We also support school children with school feeding programs. And finally, we have resilience capacity where we are trying to improve livelihoods so that people are not reliant on WFP support but can meet their own basic needs at either the household or the community level. We buy a lot of the food in country, but getting the permissions from the authorities to move it to the locations is always challenging. The situation now with the increase of the cost of fuel because of the crisis in the Middle East is making it more expensive to operate. And we will use whatever means. Most of it is going by truck, but we're also using ships, boats, and sometimes just delivering on the back of ourselves to get it to the populations. So WFP has a very sophisticated network of stakeholders that we partner with to try and reach people wherever their needs may be. We are working with international NGOs and local NGOs because they have a better understanding of the needs of the particular populations that we're supporting and the best means of reaching them. There are other agencies with specific expertise that we will work with. UNICEF is an agency that focuses primarily on children's needs, and we're able to work and ensure that together those needs are being met. UNHCR is an agency that has specific obligations to work with refugees and IDPs. WFP will collaborate and coordinate so that we are feeding those same populations. So we have a somewhat sophisticated means of providing digital identity to the people that we provide support to. We're working through our partners, collect basic information about the beneficiaries and the extended families. We register them in our databases so that when they come on a monthly basis to receive the food that we're offering, we're able to identify that this is a legitimate beneficiary, this is someone that we intend to support. We know how much they are entitled to. China gave WFP a recent contribution immediately after the earthquake in March 2025 to facilitate WFP's work responding to the needs of earthquake victims. That allowed us to scale our operations and reach hundreds of thousands of people in a short period of time. China has potential to expand that support to WFP. There's a long-standing history between China and Myanmar. Myanmar offers strategic importance within the region. Originally, WFP worked in China supporting the authorities or the government to meet the needs of the population. Now we can take that experience and apply it in Myanmar to meet the needs of the population and to provide short-term humanitarian assistance, but also longer-term resilience strengthening and ultimately development, I hope. I think there's actually a couple. I was actually in Naypyidaw when the earthquake struck. The earthquake, 7.7 on the Richter scale, the shake actually continued for 90 seconds. It was one of the most terrifying things that I've ever done. But very quickly, once it stopped, we had to dust ourselves off, and immediately we moved into response mode, and we were starting to plan how WFP was going to meet the needs of the population who'd been affected by this earthquake. And with the funding that we received from China, which was the first government to announce a contribution, the second time was when I was in the camps for the Rohingyas down in Sitwe, and we had, because of a funding constraint, had to reduce the number of people that we were supporting. Historically, we've provided monthly rations to the entire IDP camp. Unfortunately, because of the squeeze on funding, we were only reaching about 30,000, down from the hundreds of thousands that we typically support. An old man came to me. He had tears in his eyes. He said, if the authorities won't support us, if WFP can't feed us, please drop a bomb on us and put us out of our misery. And it really brought home the stress, the strain, the pressure that he was under, but also how reliant and the responsibility that WFP has to meet the needs of those people. If the international community cares, funding can be made available, it can be channeled through WFP and others, and we can make a difference. And that's what really drives me every day.
我们常说，联合国既授人以渔，又授人以渔。面临迫在眉睫的饥饿危机，世界粮食计划署的工作常常需要冲在最前线救急救难，但在危机之中，他们同样效力于韧性建设，为缅甸民众的长远生计铺路。如果有机会的话，希望也可以带大家去到一线，看看他们具体的工作模式。感谢您看到这里，我是小 Q，我们下期再见。